Vols' best March Madness moments ever. And let's start with 2010, the Elite Eight run. That was pretty special. I'm going to have to say
that's hot.
Brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning.
Yeah, that was a very special one. It was kind of a Cinderella run. Tennessee was a 6th seed, as I was just talking about. And the way they got there with J.P. Prince blocking Evan Turner's shot for a game-tying 3 when Evan Turner was going to be a lottery pick, that was just one of the best plays I had seen there. So, I mean, it was the excitement of beating Ohio State. It was kind of sweet revenge after Ohio State came back to beat Tennessee 2 years before. And so there was a lot of excitement on that. And so you got to give him, that was very special.
The 2014 Sweet 16 run. I would think we would be hot on all of these runs, but if I have to pick one that I'm slightly cold on, it would be this one. I thought that team was at least a Sweet 16 team. You?
I'm cold on it because the environment surrounding it was not good. That was the Conzo Martin year. 2 things happened. 1, the environment was not good. And 2, Tennessee got a very lucky draw to get to the Sweet 16 that year. I mean, they were the 11 seed, Dave, and they did beat Iowa in a playing game. But Dave, they got 6-seeded UMass in the first round, and everybody knew UMass shouldn't be a 6 seed. Like Tennessee should have been the 6 seed, whereas UMass was the 11 seed. So Tennessee was the underdog, but not really. And then in the second round, they got to play Mercer because Mercer upset Duke. So they played 14th seeded Mercer. That's how they got to the Sweet 16. So I'm cold on it because it was a lucky draw. Had nothing to do with what Tennessee did, and the environment was just really bad surrounding it.
Okay, we'll take a look at the 2023-2024 Elite 8 run. Hot or cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com.
Hi, Mike Davis here with City Heating and Air, reminding you to always dare to compare. Our team provides quality local heating and air service, installation, and maintenance across East Tennessee. We use only the best equipment like American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for your residential, new construction, or commercial needs. Honesty, dependability, and customer satisfaction have been the cornerstones of our business since 1961. City Heat and Air.
Dare to compare.
I can't believe I'm saying this because Tennessee's never been to the Final Four, but I'm cold on the Elite 8 run last year because of the way it ended. Jonas Adu just seemed like he didn't want to play basketball that day, and it left everybody with a bad taste in their mouth. And the fact that the officials let Zach Edey of Purdue just stand in the paint, thought it was poorly officiated. I just thought it was a bad day all around for Tennessee basketball.
I did too. And again, I that was one of those where you kind of had to expect Tennessee to make the Elite 8 that year because Tennessee, again, somewhat got a pretty good draw, if we're being honest. And I mean, we're talking about Tennessee that year in the Elite 8. They got to get St. Peter's in the first round. They win easily. They got Texas in the second round, and I'll never forget saying, remember, Dave, we talked about it going into last year. I said, the minute Tennessee turns up the tempo, Texas isn't coming back. And they did it, and Texas couldn't hang. And then they got a really lucky break with Creighton in the third round. Creighton was the 3 seed, but that was a significantly better team. Tennessee just got a good draw, and then getting to Purdue. I mean, like, for me, sometimes moments have to involve, you got at least like one like memorable win in the tournament, right? And like, I felt like they were just doing what they were supposed to do to get to last year's Elite 8. So I actually agree with you on that.
Let's go back to some of Tennessee's other runs into the into the NCAA tournament. 83 Marquette. That was before my time.
They were an 8 seed. They beat Marquette 57-56 in a thrilling game, but I'm still cold on that because they were an 8 seed Marquette. It shouldn't have even been that close. But the one we're about to get to, I don't think we can ignore. And then I'll name a few more afterward.
81 VCU.
Hot. Dave, Dale Ellis hits a game winner with as at the buzzer for Tennessee to beat VCU in 1981. And game winners always stand out in March Madness. So, I mean, you got to give him credit for that. On top of that, not only did Dale Ellis hit the game winner to beat VCU, that got Tennessee to its first Sweet 16 in school history that year. So you got to be hot on that.
Yeah, hot or cold? I'm hot on that. Hot or cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. And then what others did you want to mention?
A couple more, and I want to know your thoughts on these. because, we're going to get to the bad moments in Tennessee March Madness history, and a couple of these are on there. But before we get to those bad moments, the 2000 Sweet 16 run before they played North Carolina, was that you tell me, Dave, was that excitement because they got 26 wins at a school record, or was it like, oh, they should have gone to the elite to the Sweet 16 that year?
They definitely should have gone deeper into the tournament. They should have made the Final Four that year.
Right, but at the moment they made the Sweet 16, like the second when they beat UConn, the defending national champions, but you wasn't the same UConn team. Was there an excitement of, oh, Tennessee's going back to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 20 years, or was there, this team's doing what it needs to do?
It depends. Were you a casual fan, or were you a really into it fan? Did you know that Khalid El-Amin of UConn turned his ankle 5 days before he played Tennessee? Because I did not. Yeah, I watched him in warm-ups the day before, and he was very, very limited. He was very limited in that game, and he was their best player. That was after the Ray Allen teams where it seemed like they had 5 or 6 guards. But he was a very good guard and would have given Tennessee trouble, but he had no explosion whatsoever. So I came away from that thinking that Tennessee basically did what they're supposed to do. Now, the reason they didn't advance past North Carolina is it's to some extent happenstance, but man, the Silver Fox over there on the sideline with his arms crossed has got to adjust. When Brendan Hayward gets in foul trouble and they bring in Julius Peppers, who I'm sure a lot of you remember played defensive end for North Carolina as well. Caleb, that there was no adjustment, and he was unguardable.
Yeah, and I did not know that about UConn's injury. Wow, that makes Jerry Green look even worse. So, like, the only time that Tennessee, makes a run is when the other team's best player gets hurt, and then the next game they lose.
He was literally limping the day before the game. I mean, there was
nothing special about that team going to the Sweet 16. Then I feel vindicated. That's not on the list. One that is, and again, this is one where the heartbreak is going to be there. So we'll get to the heartbreak side of it. But 2006, 2007, which Derek recently brought up. What about this? I know they were supposed to win the game, but should we have counted the Chris Lofton shot against Winthrop? Are you hot on that just because of the shot, how epic of a shot it was?
It's a pretty special moment. So I can go hot on that. Daniel joins us, says good morning. Been out of town for a funeral. God bless. Hope all is well. Caleb, anybody else you want to hit before we get to stat of the day?
Yeah, so 506 I named, and then 06-07 when Tennessee upset Virginia, which the team Derek was talking about in the round of 32 to get to the Sweet 16, I thought was a pretty special moment as well. So, I mean, there have been some special moments, but I mean, honestly, not many.
No, not many at all.